Hi, and welcome to this video tutorial introducing you to how you can make custom maps for Stronghold Crusader 2. So first off, what we need to do is go to Steam, click on Library, and click on Tools. And then when we scroll down, we have the Stronghold Crusader 2 map editor, which you need to download first. And once you've downloaded it and started it up, you will get to this particular screen. So let's first off go to File and click on New. What we want to do is we want to create a new map. I'm not going to say a small map, just for loading time sakes. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is how do I move my camera around in this editor. If we hold down the left mouse button, we can actually start moving around. If we hold down the right mouse button, you can see we can rotate the camera, and scrolling is used to zoom in and zoom out. So the first thing that we want to do is create factions, which are sort of the terrains that the players can build in. So select the Factions tab and notice how everything by default is red, aka that's our terrain. And if we select player 2 and select your brush size, notice how we get this white brush, but if we hold down the Control key and click with the left mouse button and start dragging the mouse, we can actually create an estate for an enemy or a co-op partner, if you will. You can still use the left mouse button alone to move around the scene, as long as you don't hold down Control while doing it, because then you start painting on the terrain. Okay, so now we have an estate for our enemy. Let's place some buildings on there. We go to the Buildings tab and go to Keep, and then select any keep that you would like to have. And when you press the Control key again, you can actually place the keep on the terrain or any kind of object you have actually selected. And notice how the blue flag is hovering above the keep, which means that this belongs to the blue player. And if we place the keep in the red estate, notice how the red flag appears above it. Okay. If you go to the Objects tab, you can also see which kind of entities you've placed into the scene, and if you click on it, it'll actually move the camera towards that entity in the scene. Okay, let's do some cool stuff like resources. Resources are wood, iron, and stone. So if we have wood, we can actually just hold down Control and just start placing those lovely trees in our scene. And the same thing goes for iron and stone, although it's a little bit different. Make sure you have your correct brush size selected, and then once again hold down the Control key and just paint these twos on top of the ground. And once you're done, you can click on Viewing, if you will, and you can see we have these iron ore deposits. You can also add some decoration on there so that it looks a little bit more like iron. There we go. This is how it actually would look inside the game. And the same thing goes for stone. Now let's do something with the landscape, because it's a kind of a flat landscape at the moment, and I don't like that. Now there are 3 different tools here that you can use to scape your land. I'm just gonna select raise and lower, and I'm gonna have the noise 1 brush selected. Make sure that your brush size is, well, the size you want it to. I think this is perfectly fine. And if I hold down Control, I can actually scape and start creating mountains. If I want to raise those mountains, all I have to do is use the right mouse button. There's also a Plateau tab, which you can do to create lowlands, and it automatically creates these these flattened plateaus with an equal height for you. You can still smooth these out if you want. If you go to Smooth and hold down Control, you can actually create these inclined ramps which players are able to walk up to. Now let's create also a small pit. Go to raise and lower the terrain, and if we hold down the right mouse button, we can create these pits. And what we can do now is if we go to the Water tab we can actually create a sea. And by default, you'll notice that the sea level is quite high, and it means that our entire land is underwater, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the sea level quite a bit, and as you can see, it now fits into these gaps that we've just created. Of course, the iron pits are now a little bit under the sea, but that's just for something for professional map designers to finish off. Let's go to the rivers, because that tool is awesome as well. If we go to tile painting and we hold down Control, simply drag your mouse where you want your river to appear, and the river starts to is being created on top of the land. But notice how the flow of the water is kind of odd, so we need to fix that. So we go to flow editing, make sure that we have the brush size set correctly, hold down Control again and drag your mouse across the lines of the river. As you'll notice, these little purple stripes, they are formed according how the river flows, and that looks really good. Top. Okay. Let's see if there is anything else that we should have here as well. The sounds tab is kind of useful, especially if you created some sort of special object. For instance, let's see what we have. We have the Oasis tab. We have the river sound. That's actually kind of cool. So select river and just place it on top of your scene. So now every time the camera is near this river, you will actually hear the river sound. So if you have some sort of waterfall or the Oasis sounds, then you can add these little sounds to get some more, well, life into your scene. One last thing I want to talk about are the textures, which are very easily as well. All you have to do is select the kind of texture you want to paint with. For instance, the Oasis grass. Hold down Control and paint on top of the map. Very easy, and it can give some very nice effects to your map. Okay, so let's say that we're done with editing this map. We want to save it. So I'm going to just say save as, and then currently it guides you to your documents folder, and then there's the Stronghold Crusader 2 folder, then there's the maps folder, and that's where we are going to save our map. I'm just going to call this one tutorial map. I'm going to press save, and then it's going to export our map. I'm going to press OK. I'm just going to close the tutorial, the Crusader map editor. Now let's start Crusader Stronghold Crusader 2, and let's see how it looks inside our game. So I'll just, I guess I skip this part. Okay, so we're starting up.
Welcome to Stronghold Crusader 2, my liege.
Yes, thank you for welcoming me. We go to single player. The community maps, that's something that's not working yet. I assume that's going to be the workshop that will be implemented later. What we do is we go to custom skirmish, and then here we go. Here we have the tutorial map, and once you select it, you'll see this nice lovely icon that we created before. Let's create an enemy for us, the rat. Yee! And let's just press start and see how it looks inside the game.
Place your stockpile, my lord.
And as you can see, we already start the game with our enemy right next to us, which is lovely game design, of course.
Sight your granary, sire.
The cool thing is this works, and you can just play your map automatically, and well, that's kind of awesome. Okay, well, you guys have fun with creating your custom maps for Stronghold Crusader 2. Once the workshop is created, be sure to upload them as well and share them with the community. Okay, well, have fun.